Right, are you ready?
Yeah.
This is 10 board games for a new collection, or for beginners, or for, what is it?
Welcome to our channel, all about games
And stuff in the
studio.
Today we have a list video for you, and this one is for the new board gamer or someone that would like to get into the hobby. We've curated a list of the top 10 board games that we highly recommend for beginners to get started with. Whether you're a casual player or eager to explore strategic gameplay, this list has something for everyone.
So grab your favourite snack, settle in and enjoy the journey.
Number 1, Ticket to Ride Europe. 2 to 5 players, 30 to 60 minutes, 8+, published by Days of Wonder in 2005 and created by Alan Moon. Ticket to Ride Europe takes you on a train adventure across turn-of-the-century Europe. We've spoken about this game before because it was our gateway game.
Drug.
The game is elegantly simple, can be learned in about 10 minutes and appeals to both families and experienced gamers. Yeah.
Can't go past.
Can't go past.
Really.
We've chosen Europe over USA because we feel Europe has a bit more longevity over USA.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it. There's 3 extra rules, which are tunnels, stations and ferries.
Yeah. Tunnels are harder to build. It takes more resources in cards.
Tunnels are almost a little push your luck section of the game.
But as we said, and we've said in previous videos, I learnt Ticket to Ride 10 years ago, and now we have a game shop. So it's all Stu's fault.
It was our gateway drug, both of us. So
yeah, most definitely.
it's got to be there.
Has to be in the list.
And we would still play it with new people that we are introduced to. So
we haven't played for a little while, but...
No, but I played it. We played it when the kids came over.
Yes.
So yeah, wasn't that long ago.
Okay, that's our number 1. Number 2.
Number 2 is Splenda. 2 to 4 players, 30 minutes, 10+. It was published in 2014 by Space Cowboys and designed by Marc-Andre. Splenda is a game of chip drafting and engine building. In this game, you're drafting gems in the form of chips to allow you to buy cards from a market of 12 cards as a means to acquire the most prestige points. If you're wealthy enough, you might attract a noble at a point, which of course will further increase your prestige. The first to 15 points begins the end game.
Yeah. How many games of this did you lose?
I lost
in a
my
row?
first 12 games, but that's fine.
So you loved every minute of it.
I love Splenda. I still love Splenda.
Just kept coming back for more.
And it's still one we play from time to time.
Yes, we play it with the girls.
Yes, we do.
Quite often. And the expansions in this set are quite good.
Yes, there's basically one expansion with 4 different expansions in it, and you can mix and match which ones you use.
Yeah.
But there's still one we haven't played with.
There's one of the expansions.
Oh no, we have. We did play with Strongholds.
Yes, we have, yes.
Yeah, so we've played with all of them now. So,
and they're quite good.
They are very good.
But Splendor is definitely one that is not too hard to pick up. Again, it's 10 minutes of learning.
No, yeah, it's a very simple procedure, but it's a very thinky game.
It's difficult to master. But once you've got it...
Hence me losing so many times.
And everyone is on the same level of play in that game. It's quite competitive, which is good fun.
But we introduced Jessica to that and then she beat us.
Yes.
So...
Yeah, because we were fighting over stuff between us and Jessica always.
As always.
Yes. Game 3, Welcome to. 1 to 100 this one plays, 25 minutes, 10+. It was published by Blue Cocker Games in 2018 and Benoit Turpin. Benoit?
Benoit? I'm not sure how you say that.
Benoit,
That's okay.
Turpin.
Benoit.
Welcome to is a flip and write game, which is to say you mark the results on a score sheet from your choice of 3 pairs of cards. You flip cards from piles to make 3 different action sets with both a house number and a corresponding action. You use the numbers to fill in the houses on your street in numerical order. You take the actions to increase the point value of your estates. You score points at the end for building parks and pools. Hello, Smudge. Everyone is racing to be the first to complete public goals, which are sets of groups of houses. Hello, Smudge.
Smudge
nice of you to join us.
Come for a visit.
Come for a smooch. Just there. Very good.
Okay.
We've played this a number of times, and it was probably one of the first roll and writes.
I think it was.
It's in the roll and write genre, but it uses cards as a flip.
I think it was one of the first ones we learnt, and we were amazed by it.
It was very good.
Apart from Yahtzee, of course, which we all grew up with.
Yes, Yahtzee is the original. We all know that one.
Yeah, but we played it recently with the boys because they hadn't played it before, which was surprising.
Yes.
So,
Again, not a difficult game to pick up, and you should have. What we've tried to do with this 10 list is have one from each kind of mechanic and genre.
Yeah.
We've tried not to
There's
duplicate.
probably a few we're missing. Like we haven't got any area control games in there.
Okay.
But,
Well, one of them is when we get there. Slightly.
okay. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Again, another great game, worthy of any
Game collection.
game collection, and one that we recommend for beginners.
Game 4, Machi Koro, 2 to 4 players, 30 minutes, 10 plus. It's published by Pandasaurus Games in 2012, and it was designed by Masao Suganuma. Machi Koro is a fast-paced game, which I hate saying. Each player wants to develop the city on their own terms in order to complete all of the landmarks under construction faster than their rivals. On their turn, each player rolls 1 or 2 dice. If the sum of the dice rolled matches the number of a building the player owns, they get the effect of that building. In some cases, opponents will also benefit from your dice, just as you can benefit from theirs. Then with the money earned, a player can build a landmark or a new building, ideally adding to the wealth of their city on future turns. The first player to construct all of their landmarks wins.
Yeah, first to get the 4 landmarks, which is the TV station, the
Oh, now you got
supermarket,
me. Yeah.
the
Radio tower?
radio tower.
I can't remember the
Oh,
fourth one.
no.
And I just got it out too the other day.
I'll add that as a super when we check this afterwards.
I can't remember the other one.
This is an interesting game.
Yeah.
It is an engine builder.
It is.
You roll the dice, it activates something, you get cash, you spend that cash on another card. And you keep building this length of cards.
There's a little bit of like, you don't know whether to continue buying more buildings or just buy your landmarks.
Yeah. You've got to get the cash to buy the landmarks.
Yeah.
So
and
you
they
need to
start,
build the cash
cheap
engine.
and they get more
You
expensive.
need to build the cash engine,
Yes.
which is a lot of fun because if you...
Because you're relying on dice to give you the right numbers. So there is a lot of luck to it.
And there's a little bit of take that in it. There's three buildings which are very, very much about taking.
And they're all
from your
on the
opponent.
number 6, which
Yes.
is obviously the most common number that comes up.
7 is the most common.
Oh, is it?
In
Well,
with
they're
two
number
dice.
6.
With 2 dice, 7
anyway.
is the most common. So yeah, another one that again is not too difficult. Most of these games we've picked tonight are
Pretty simple to learn.
pretty quick to learn. Not a massive rule set. Not a lot of variation in the rules. They're quite
No.
straightforward. And there's not too many things that you kind of go, well, what do we do in this case? It's all pretty well laid out and not too difficult to learn. Game 5, Stone Age. 2 to 4 players, 60 to 90 minutes, 10 plus, published by Z-Man Games in 2008 and written by Bernd Brunhofer. Stone Age is a classic worker placement game. Players place their meeples in the regions of the board that they think will benefit them, including getting resources like wood, brick, stone and gold, or claiming tools, buildings or cards that can give you scoring goals. You have to feed your meeples at the end of each round or you face losing resources or even points. And we're latecomers to this game.
We were very latecomers to this game. This is probably the most, on this list, the most recent one we've learnt, I think.
From this list, yeah,
From
that
this
would
list.
that would make sense. The most recent one, but it's probably the oldest in publication. It was produced in 2008.
Hey,
Hello,
Smudge.
Smudge. Hello, Smudge.
She knew we were going to be shooting this tonight, so she's decided to make herself known.
She's been interrupting us all afternoon. So we picked this up about a year ago
Yeah, and we loved it. straight
because
off the bat.
it was unavailable for us to have in the store for
quite a long time.
And then it became available again. We thought we'll get that. We'll get a copy for ourselves and have a crack. And it's really good.
It is really good.
We've played this a number of times.
There's a little
now.
bit of math in it. Not a terrible amount,
It's
but
got
there
a
is little bit of
really
math.
good resource gathering mechanic where,
Yes.
depending on how many meeples you apply to a location, that's how many dice you get. So you place 3 meeples, get 3 dice. You roll those dice, total up the pips, and then divide it by the value of the resource you're going for.
Yes.
And then that's how many you get. So sometimes you've got productive workers.
Yes,
and
sometimes they're
you haven't.
slacking off.
So if you're going for gold, which is a resource value of 6, you really got to get quite a few workers
You
over
want
there
it,
to
yeah.
guarantee that you get at least 1 or maybe 2 gold.
Yeah.
But yes, another very good game. And Suze keeps beating us at this game
Yes,
by
but getting all the cards.
getting all the green
with
grass
the green
cards.
grass cards.
Yeah.
So there's different points for collecting different
But
things.
she just seems to do it without us noticing.
Yeah,
And then
I
before you
know.
know it, she's got the whole set.
So need to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we have to watch that. All right. So we're halfway through the 10 games. Just a reminder, do all the subscribey things for
Please.
us. Help us get to 1,000 subs before the end of this year. It's a bit of a goal that we're trying to achieve. We really appreciate so we can bring you more content like this. Moving on now.
Game 6 is Star Realms. 2 to 6 players with expansions, 20 minutes, 12 plus. It was published by Wise Wizard Games in 2014. It was designed by Robert Doherty and Darwin Castle.
Yeah.
Star Realms is a simple but highly addictive deck building game of space combat. It combines the fun of a deck builder with the interactivity of trading card game style combat. You start with 8 money and 2 hit points, shuffle and draw 5 cards, buy cards from the trade row which can give you money, hit points or health. When you reduce your opponent's score to 0, you win.
This is addictive, this game. We played it nearly every night for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's so quick. You smash out 3 hands of this in under an hour.
Yeah. It becomes a very fast-paced game when you get good at it.
It's really quite fun, and I love the faction component of it. There are 4 factions in the deck,
game.
and when you manage to get multiples of one faction come out in your hand, they trigger second and sometimes third actions, which give you more power
Yes,
to eliminate
usually
your
more
opponent.
hit points.
Especially with the blobs.
Yes, the green blobs.
If you get into this game, you'll know what I mean about
If
the
someone's
blobs.
collecting green blobs, just collect the blue cards because they give you health.
Yes, blue is health, green is power. Yes. Game 7. Carcassonne. 2 to 5 players, 30 to 45 minutes, 7 plus, produced by Z-Man Games in 2000, designed by Klaus-Jürgen Ried. Yeah?
Very good.
I got that right. Look at me. Carcassonne is a tile placement game where you draw and place a tile with a piece of southern French landscape on it. The tile might feature a city, a road, a cloister, grassland or some combination thereof, and it must be placed adjacent to the tiles that have already been played, and it's got to match all
gotta
its
match.
sides. Now you place it in such a way that cities are connected to cities, roads to roads, etc. Then you decide whether you want to place one of your meeples on that area you started to create. Because when that area is closed off, you score all the points for tiles that that meeple owns and occupies.
Mm-hmm. And then you get your meeple back and then you get to place it again.
So on a city you place a knight, on a road you place a robber, on a cloister you place a monk, and on a grassland you place a farmer. And yes, as I've said, when that area is complete, that meeple scores the points and you get your meeple back. We streamed this early on
In COVID?
during COVID.
During COVID.
And we got a rule wrong.
Oh, well,
Yes.
that's just like us.
That's just like us.
You know. You can still have fun if you get the rules wrong.
So this is 2000. So this is probably the oldest game. No, Ticket to Ride
In our
Europe is
list?
15 years old. This
Yeah.
is 20 years old, 23 years old.
Star Realms was 2014.
2014, right. Okay.
So 2000, yeah, this is...
But these are
one of
all
the old
games that we point to in the shop when people come in and they've played Monopoly, Scrabble, Cluedo, and we point them to all
The
these.
gateway games.
Yeah, they are the gateway games.
Game 8 is Barenpark, 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes, 8 plus. 2017, it was published by Lookout Games and designed by Phil Walker Harding.
Cool.
Barenpark is a polyominoal game where you are building your own bear park. The park is created by combining polyominoal tiles onto a grid, with players scoring for animal houses, outdoor areas, completed construction and more. The sooner you build it, the better, as some tiles are in decreasing point value. Cover icons to get new tiles and park sections and leave space for your bear statues. The game ends as soon as one player has finished expanding their park, and then add up your points to see who wins.
Yeah. I like this game.
Polyominoal games are good, but I'm not very good at the Tetrisy stuff.
It's a bit of spatial awareness
There
that you
is.
need to have to play this game.
I should have that. I have an architectural degree.
We'll use it when you play
I'd have
Barenpark.
some spatial awareness.
Barenpark was probably our first polyominoal game. Then we moved on to things like My City and Isle of Cats, which are also really good games.
And Project L. Project L?
Project L, yeah, that's polyomino. It's more Tetrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool games. Barenpark just has this unique little play style where what you cover on your play area is what you draft.
Yes. And you don't get to place it right away. You're drafting it for the next turn.
For the next turn. Then you place and then you draft. Sometimes you get to draft more than one tile.
Yes, if you cover more than one thing with a tile, then you can draft two
multiple
tiles.
things.
So, yeah. It's a very interesting game.
But the expansion has a really unique thing, which is a monorail that you build above the board with little towers and little things. That's pretty cool.
It's great on its own. You don't need the expansion. We've never actually played with the expansion, even though we know about it.
I've seen it, so
well, maybe you have.
But
I haven't played with it. I
feel like I've played it,
so
but
that's fine.
Maybe not. So again, this is another one that we would point new players in the store that have maybe played Ticket to Ride and Splendor and games that we've already mentioned, and we'd say, "Oh, you want a polyomino game?" And they all say, "What's that?"
What's a polyomino game? Like Tetris.
Which is quite a bit of fun. Our next game, Game 9, is another card game, Jaipur, for 2 players. 30 minutes, 12 plus, 2009 by Space Cowboys, designed by Sebastian Pachon. Jaipur is a trading card game, a blend of tactics, risk and luck. On your turn, you can either take or sell cards. If you take cards, you can choose between taking all the camels that are face up, or taking 1 card from the market, or you can swap up to 2 to 5 cards from your hand to the market. If you sell cards, you get to sell 1 type of good from your hand, and you can trade up to from 2 to 5 cards for goods. The goods come in the form of chips, and you get the same amount depending on how many cards you trade. You trade 2, you get 2 chips. The chips are in diminishing value. So the earlier you go, the more valuable the chips. The later you go, you might get more from the pile.
True.
The game ends when 3 piles of chips have been depleted. There are 5 types of goods and camels in the game. We played this nearly every night.
It was fun.
For 6 months, didn't we?
It's best of 3.
Your best of 3 hands.
I think Smudge is watching us on the monitor.
She is. Yes,
She's fascinated.
Yes. It is a really cool... And this is a genuine 2-player game.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. It's 2 players, whereas what we've spoken... The other card game tonight was Star Realms. That can extend up to 6 players with expansions. But this is a genuine 2-player game.
And it gets really fast.
It gets really fast and it gets quite... Take that, because you know what someone's collecting and you say, oh, I'm going to start taking those. And the 5 types of goods are leather, spice, gold, silver and diamonds.
And no one ever wants leather.
No, but you can get a lot of leather.
You can get a lot of leather.
And you can still get points.
Leather's not worth much.
You can still get points with leather. So.
You can.
But as you pointed out, you get those chips for trading in 2, 3 or 5 cards.
That's true, yes. If
which give you more points.
So you want to trade in at least 3 to get one of those chips, but they're random scoring points on the back of them. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Until you get the chip.
Yeah.
Which makes it more interesting.
And it's the chips that are the points.
And then there's a bonus chip for having the most camels in your herd.
Number 10.
Game 10 is Azul. 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes, 8 plus. It came out in 2017 by Next Move Games and it was designed by Michael Kiesling. Azul is a tile placement game where you take turns drafting coloured tiles from factories to their player board holding bays. You must take all of one colour if you're going to take a colour. Once all the tiles are taken, players score points based on how they've placed their tiles to decorate the palace. Extra points are scored for specific patterns and completing sets. Broken tiles cost you points, and the player with the most points at the end of the game wins.
Yeah, I love this game. The tiles are so tactile.
We played this a lot during COVID.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And it's a quick one to get out. Like, it doesn't take long to set up. So
it's nice and it's thinky enough that
it's definitely thinky.
You do try and thwart your opponents because you look at the factories and you go, I know you want one black.
Those, yes.
I'm taking that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's definitely a bit of take that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of strategy involved. It's quite
Although
fun.
mostly I'm working on my own thing.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you're watching what I'm doing.
You have to watch.
So then I have to watch you.
You have to watch. So that's 10 games.
That is 10 games. And we have an honourable mention.
An honourable mention. I will never pass up an opportunity.
Which I have no details in front of me for, but anyway.
Yeah, honourable mention. I will never pass up an opportunity to play this game.
Qwirkle.
Qwirkle. So much fun. Tile placement game. 6 shapes, 6 colours. The rule is same shape, different colour in a line, or same colour, different shape. And you can't repeat a tile in a line.
It's a pretty simple set of rules.
And you make up this patchwork of tiles. And you score points.
Can take up quite a bit of space on the table, but there is a travel version if you want smaller tiles.
Smaller tiles. One of my faves, and yeah.
It usually comes out at Christmas time.
Yeah. It gets a run.
And it's good for the young because there's no words to read. So
6+.
It is 6+.
Yeah.
So, but people underestimate it when you see it in the store because it looks like a kiddie game. But
yeah, it's very colourful.
Quite
box.
strategic.
And Qwirkle is a quirky name.
It is a quirky name.
Yeah,
that's basically when you get 6 in a row, it's called a Qwirkle.
Yep. And you get 12 points for that.
You do.
So on that note, while we're here, please do all the subscribing thing.
Please.
And help us get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. We really like to get a move on with that. And it'll help us bring you more content in the future. So.
And I just want to say, if you do live local, come in, stop in the store and say hello.
Yeah, check us out at Gas Games. 19 Treloar Lane, Pakenham.
We have lots more games to show you.
Yes, we do. Until next time,
Play more games.